Good afternoon from South Africa. This is Moripe from TV channel YouTube Africa. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us, and congratulations on the fact that you be coming to South Africa to play against Mamelodi Sundowns. Very good. But my question, maybe just before I come to that part, is just looking at Jürgen Klopp coming in and coaches at the Global Soccer Director, and of course some of the things that he has done over the course of, I think, more than a year. What has been sales, of course, in terms of the RP family tree, what is being sealed in relation to the future that you guys are also be going to looking at when it comes to Africa, African players, maybe especially Southern Africa, looking at the fact that you're already having a tour to play Mamelodi Sundowns here in South Africa. What do you be in terms of his alignment, in terms of his guidance, in terms of where you want to direct you as a team, especially looking to the African continent, especially Southern Africa, South Africa, and really even especially implement what you want to do already in the trip coming to South Africa. Thank you.
Okay, that have been quite a lot of questions, and happy to answer them. First of all, we are super excited to come to South Africa, and as all of you know, we are still a young club, right? We have been founded 2009 in the 5th division, and since then we got promoted from 5th division to Bundesliga. We did win our first international title. We had our first international appearance, etc. So what I want to say is there's a lot of first times. And this is now the first time that we have the pleasure to go to South Africa, and that's a market from our perspective that at the latest since the World Cup 2010 is very well known in Germany for its warm atmosphere, its joyful football, its amazing fans, the vuvuzelas we have still in our ears that we heard 16 years ago. So we really appreciate now to do this step to come to a next market. And obviously there are always several reasons to do so. First of all, first and primarily, it's about football, right? So after going to the US, after going to Brazil, now going to South Africa and having our first footprint in a new market, and having this not just as RB Leipzig, but as a Bundesliga club, and just as you mentioned, as a part of the world of Red Bull, is something that is big for all of us, for our team here in Leipzig, but also for the global team where you mentioned Jürgen Klopp. And if I understood correctly, your question was also how do we collaborate with Jürgen, and will he be part of this tour? So what Jürgen did when he started 14 months ago was he was connecting our clubs. He was connecting our clubs from a sporting perspective. So who's talking to the coaches? Who's talking to the head of the academies? How does the way of playing football look like? Which kind of recruitment pipelines do we have to create? And which kind of players do we have to find? And with all these different topics, Jürgen is a very important part, obviously, of the global team, connecting different knots and connecting different clubs and connecting different people within the clubs, but also within the broader football environment. And therefore, Jürgen is very, very happy that he can support the club in building more and more international relations to other associations, but also to other clubs such as the Sundowns you mentioned. And for us, doing this tour, having an opponent such as the Sundowns, who have a remarkable history from a success point of view, from a sporting point of view. I mean, we all followed the FIFA Club World Cup last summer and saw the performance, especially when they played Borussia Dortmund. So these are all different reasons for us to plan this tour, and we are very grateful for all the support we get from our partners on the ground. Obviously, first of all, Red Bull, who's helping us to set up something big together with all these colleagues in South Africa, but also from media and our commercial partners. And yeah, we are looking forward then for the end of May.
Thank you. Leonard Zorns.
Guten Tag, Herr Plenge.
Well,
Leonard Zorns, ESPN Africa. I have no doubt that you're going to bring some incredible players for us to watch in South Africa. Am I correct in thinking, though, that Jan Diomande won't be able to be part of the traveling group because you will probably have to release him for the FIFA World Cup before you arrive in South Africa?
Yeah, I mean, as you know, at this time of the season, we don't have the final squad ready for the tour, but we can ensure that we will have a very, very exciting squad in place. Because, as you know, our clear philosophy is to focus on young players, on talented players, and to create stories together with these players. And you mentioned Jan Diomande. He's an exceptional talent. He's exciting the whole Bundesliga. He's a true RB Leipzig story, a true Red Bull story, because it's a player that has not been known before this season, and now everyone in the league, everyone in Europe is talking about him, and he's showcasing a perfect match of talent, of enthusiasm, and the willingness to perform to the maximum. So whether we can bring him or not, obviously, there's the World Cup upcoming. Obviously, he's an important part of the national team, but be ensured that there will be a lot of interesting players that we will bring to South Africa.
Thank you. Delmain, Faber.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks so much for the opportunity. I just want to ask, 2 years ago, we had another Bundesliga club come to South Africa. It was FC Augsburg. And they set up camp in Mpumalanga. What they heard was not just if they come for the preseason preparations, but we also saw them invest heavily in the type of fields that they play on or that they were training on during their stay here. Even the type of field. Could we see something similar from RB Leipzig with regards to just your preparation for the time being that you'll be just invest in making sure that everything is of the highest quality and the highest standard, just to make sure you guys are all about?
Yeah, for sure. You can expect this from RB Leipzig. I mean, this shall not be a one-off, right? This is not a tour we are doing and then never coming back. But we really want to leave a footprint in the market. And leaving a footprint means, of course, infrastructure-wise, but also like touching the hearts of the football community. And this is what we have done last year in Sao Paulo. We did our tour there. We had a great match. But also, we helped the football community in Bragança, a city close to Sao Paulo, to have a new soccer court for a specific school to help young kids and players to have a better infrastructure in terms of playing and training football. Also, of course, we will support the community with things like a football club can deliver. We will have digital experiences on how we are teaching football, and how we want to play football, and how we train young players. So for sure, this will not be just a one-off, and for sure, we want to leave something in the market that will help the football community and the football enthusiasm in South Africa to even grow further.
Thank you. Owen, it's your turn.
Guten Tag, Johann.
Guten Tag.
Quick one question quickly.
I just want to know why Sundowns is your choice of opposition for this preseason,
And how do you think this will help prepare for next season?
I think that two main reasons. One is like the sporting perspective. So of course we want to have an ambitious opponent, and I just talked about the quality of the Sundowns that we all saw in the FIFA Club World Cup. We all know about the great successes of Sundowns winning the Premier Soccer League for 8 consecutive times in a row. So we do want to mess with the best and play against the best teams in town, so to say. And we think Sundowns is a perfect match from a sporting perspective, but also from a more like a value and cultural point of view, in terms of a club that wants to develop itself step by step, a club that has a strong focus on a very positive, very emotional, very friendly atmosphere when they create a football environment. So this is what, from our perspective, from our experience, we can see with the Sundowns, and therefore we think they are the perfect opponent to play against. And there are like several more reasons. There are partners that we do share. Red Bull is engaged with the Sundowns, Puma is engaged with the Sundowns, and I think they will be a big help to set up a great tour in May.
No, it's fine. Often we would couple of questions from me. Basically looking at the club and how it's grown from the first year to the Bundesliga and also looking to have that global footprint. Firstly, what the importance of having a global footprint when you want to be on a major compete internationally as a football club, whether it's a German, it's a Bayern Munich or Real Madrid, the importance of that, of going to different places and setting up roots in different countries and continents. That's the first one, the importance of that. And then secondly, also the young player development role that you guys play. Talk to us about that, because tours like this, as much as they're good for the countries in terms of the global fluidity of football these days, developing these young players that can maybe, whether they play for you guys or even have a future role for you within the club or the ecosystem of RB Leipzig. Talk to us about building those relationships. Thank you very much.
So I think when we started this club, there was a very clear ambition and a very clear goal: come to professional football as fast as possible. And we were really, really clear as of the very beginning on how to achieve this, as we wanted to give wings to talents. And this is what we have done since the fifth league, and this is what we are doing each and every season in Bundesliga. I mean, there have been so many examples in the past, like Guardiol, like Olmo, like Szoboszlai, etc. But also like players from Africa, such as Dudu Haidara, such as obviously Diamonde, and finding these players and finding them at the very early stage and giving them the perfect platform to develop, and on the one hand to develop, and on the other hand also to be sporting, to ensure sporting success and to compete in Bundesliga and establish in the Bundesliga as a top club, and also fight for Europe each and every season. So this is something that we brought together as of the very beginning, and it's part of our core DNA that we defined for the club when we started this club in 2009. And on the other hand, for us, it was very important to be clear on what you want to stand for and what the core values of this club must be. So talking about professionalism, of course, football is beautiful and is a joy and brings together people, but football is also something that you can manage and steer on a very, very professional level. Being self-confident is important for us because we know as Red Bulls entering the pitch that we can compete with each and every opponent. That this is something that we have done in the 5th division, that this is something that we have done in the Bundesliga, and this is something that we want to do on an international level. This club, since it was founded, had a very strong focus on innovation, like innovating the on-pitch product, but also the off-pitch product in terms of how does the media product is set up, how do we distribute it, what are the rules that football should be in place in football. What is the right way to train, to do load management, to exercise, how to do scouting, etc. So being innovative is something that is at the very core, and we think this is really a perfect match for the South African market, is bringing joy on the pitch, but also bringing joy on the stands. Because you can see here in Leipzig, if you see at the sold-out Red Bull Arena, there are 47,000 spectators from a very young age, 5 to 6 to 7 years old, to grandfather, no matter whether it's women or men, no matter they're originally born and raised in Leipzig or just moved to Leipzig a couple of months ago. We bring all of them together and offer them a really joyful experience. And this is our idea since we started this club here in Leipzig. And then, as you can see, we do not want to do this only in Leipzig, but we want to do this on a domestic and also on an international level. And we have a clear idea here in Leipzig. Of course, we want to bring international football to Leipzig. We do this via the UEFA Club competitions, via the Euro we did host 2 years ago, the Conference League final we will host this year. But we also want to bring Leipzig to the international football community. And this is what we are doing, for example, via this tour, and this is why it's so important to us.
Thank you. We go out with Sinithemba Sitole.
Hi, thank you for the opportunity. Good afternoon to everyone. But my question just, I saw in the statement you said South Africa is an exciting football market. Maybe you were speaking from your knowledge of not only Sundowns. Obviously, you've mentioned that you saw it, Sundowns in the Club World Cup against Borussia and other clubs. Were you speaking maybe from your knowledge about the league? Obviously, we've gotten a lot of compliments about the strongness of the league or its growth there, also and how it's contributing to the national team that's seemingly being revived now. Just how do you feel about the league itself and just all the clubs, not only Sundowns?
I think it's important to have a clear picture. To have a clear picture, it's important to be on the ground, and you cannot have a picture on how the competitiveness of the league or the development of the league just from an outside perspective. So this is why it's important for us to really come to the market, be on ground, leave something there, as I just mentioned, and build up a connection in the base to then constantly exchange with this market. And we want to exchange it from several reasons, from a scouting perspective. I mean, we talked about Young Diamonde. I'm pretty sure there is a Young Diamonde also in South Africa, and if we are the lucky ones who find him, then we have done a good job. And what we also want to do, coming back to your question and to your league, is we want to foster the engagement and the exchange of international leagues. We are not only there as RB Leipzig and as a Red Bull club, but we are also there as a part of the Bundesliga. And connecting the Bundesliga and connecting the Premier Soccer League is something that will be valuable for both sides, because football is facing, of course, difficulties due to new kind of sports, new leagues coming up, etc. And I think each and every league must not find its own way, but shall exchange with other leagues on how to develop and become a better product. And also, I think we have a mission as a football club, and we have a mission as a Bundesliga club, and we also have a mission as an ambassador for football, and coming to South Africa, not only playing against the Sundowns, but meeting as many other clubs, football fans, representatives from the associations will help to build these bridges that are important from our point of view.
Thank you. Next one up is Johann.
Hi, Johann. Thank you for having us. And Johann, I wanted to ask, it's not every day that players get to travel and play South Africa. How was the announcement received by your players and staff to find out that they'll be traveling here? And are they excited for the match and also to experience a different footballing culture than what they might be used to?
They perceived it really, really positively. Obviously, they knew it before the official announcement, and they appreciate it for many reasons I mentioned. They have followed the Sundowns in the Club World Cup. Not only the Sundowns from South Africa, but also football from Africa. Following Al Ahly, we have had coaches from Al Ahly here in Leipzig and foster an exchange there on a coaching level. And the players here in Leipzig, they obviously also feel as ambassadors for the club and for the Bundesliga, and they love these opportunities to meet new people, come to new places, but not just as tourists, but do that as a real part of the football community, and having a friendly and having official training sessions and bringing together football fans from all over the region to these kind of events, and actually meeting the people at these events is something that they are looking forward and that they appreciate big time.
Thanks.
Then we try a second time with Ndebele.
I'm available as well.
Yeah. Greeting everyone.
Yes.
This is from the Sowetan News Creek. I see you've decided to name your tour the Gulf Fair, and I've been noticing even on social media, European clubs are using South African lingo. How beneficial is that? What are the reasons behind that you guys are using South African trends, South African languages in your social media pages?
I think it's, on the one hand, it gives you credibility, but on the other hand, it must also be perceived as a strong sign, because this is not just a marketing wording, but this is something that we mean by heart, because we want to do this tour together. This is not just a football club flying in, doing some training sessions, playing a match and flying out, but this is really something that we can do together as the football community, in terms of fans, in terms of other teams, in terms of our commercial partners there, in terms of media people, etc., to showcase that we can have a wonderful 1 week experience in South Africa in terms of football, not only a match, not only full stands, but really pushing football culture, bringing together football people and doing this together. And this is why we have chosen the motto of WK Ufela.
Okay, Joe Man, now your microphone works.
Yes, it does. Begets dear coach.
Sehr gut, danke.
Very good, very good. I just wanted to check, this is going to be a little bit less serious. So firstly, what are the chances of an RB Cape Town? And secondly, tell us a little bit more about Dietrich. I saw him on your social media pages. He's looking a little bit out of shape. I know you've been scouting him, and he's come to the RP arena that side, but he wasn't looking too good. Can you tell us a little bit more about what you guys are doing with him on social media and stuff?
So first question was regarding, could you repeat it, please?
Well, the first question was regarding that RB Cape Town.
Okay. So we are RB Leipzig, right? So this is a question for the global team, and Mario Gomez, who, by the way, also was part of the FIFA World Cup 2010, and in the past weeks I talked a lot with him about his experience there. He was not, they did not win the title, but he said he had wonderful weeks there and a very, very, very warm football atmosphere here. So Mario loved his time in South Africa back in 2010 and came back a lot of times. So what is the chances of having a Red Bull club in South Africa? Ask me that question after the tour. First of all, we will gain our experience as a club, and as I said, and we really want to leave a footprint, and we'll come back from time to time. In which constellation it will be ever, could be coaches, could be youth teams, could be our women team, could be first team, could be our influencers, etc. So there are many ways to interact, and that's important for us to emphasize. But there are no actual plans yet to enlarge our multi-club ownership and have an additional club. But never say no, and there are no current expansion plans, but you do not have to own a club to have a very good relationship with other clubs in the football community. But again, let's talk about this after the tour and after proper evaluation of the global team.
Yeah.
And
I want to yes.
Yeah, I think it's about, and I think you can see that very well in the video, it's about having fun, right? It's about having fun in a football environment. It's about having him here in the stadium, at the academy, in the city of Leipzig, but also the other way around, right? It's not only players that we want to bring to South Africa, but it's also our media community, influencers that we work with, influencers that love the story of RB Leipzig and share it. But what we have in the pipe for the upcoming days and weeks, obviously, there has to be a bit of surprise for everyone involved, especially for the football fans, and leave it up to us. But I can ensure that we have a lot of good ideas, and it was very, very funny to have him here. I think everyone can see that having a look at the content we just created.
I don't know if we want to talk maybe about the Lucas Moripe Stadium and why we picked it, and why is this important that we play there. Maybe that's a good one to answer.
Yeah, I think choosing the Lucas Moripe Stadium is also a signal, and it's also appreciation for football history and for what Lucas has achieved as a player with an international career and bringing South African football on a global scale to a lot of different countries. And for us, it's important not just to have a marketing tour, but really to have credible and trustworthy touch points, and appreciating one of the football legends is something that is an important signal for us also to send it to the football community. If this hopefully answers the question.
Again, this is my first question, especially the fact that you discovered of the Lucas Moripe question. Just an historical element of the player that probably you did get to the point that you're selecting to come to the Africa, having that understand sort of the South African player that have also been in Germany and played, so that historical connection, how is important is it for them to understand that they come here, that want to develop the athletic panel at Gibbon Trina, ex-Patupo Zuba, that also want played in Germany and what world-known names as they come to South Africa. And then just my second question in Frederick, I know this question is going to be asked to you, especially if you get to the point where you speak to the Minister of Sport in South Africa. It might come to ask you, what are the benefits of the video assistant referee? Because that's a VAR, that's been a contentious conversation case about the fact that they're kind of implemented. What has been the benefit of it? Ably also in our league kind introduced it. From your experience at that year.
Could you repeat the last part of your second question? What is the benefit of?
A VAR.
Okay.
Sorry. Yes, but if you make us a detective, people know, could you attach implemented that in South Africa and then just take contentious pay, we are trying to get it to the soccer league. What has been the benefits from the experience that side? And the first question will be on the historical connection with the previous players that have played in Germany and making the new players that you want to be bringing here understand that connection.
So talking about the VAR first, I mean, this is something that has been in place now for a while in Bundesliga. And at the very beginning, there were a lot of question marks and a lot of doubts from everyone involved, from the players, from the fans, from the media partners, etc. And I think everyone quite fast adapted to this new innovation. And there are a lot of pros and cons for having a VAR in place or having it not in place. From our point of view, of course, the most important thing in football is having emotions and having really like touching the hearts of every football fan. But on the other hand, also it's a competition, and we need competitive balance, and we need fair decisions, and we need an institution that helps everyone involved, the referees, the players, the coaches, to accept that there are right decisions and wrong decisions, and sometimes there's like something in between. And the VAR helped everyone involved to have a better balance in decisions. And it just like really took very little time to adapt and very little time to implement it and to make it accepted by the fans in the stadium, by the players, by everyone in the ecosystem. So of course, there are still decisions that are discussed, and sometimes there are situations where it might take a bit too long to have the exact VAR decision in place. But this is something that at the end is in favor of having a more fair, more balanced, more competitive at the end competition, and therefore we are in favor to have this in place. And this is also something where leagues should help each other, right? Where the Bundesliga and other European leagues can help other leagues on how to implement it, how to avoid mistakes, which technique works out, etc. So I hope this is sufficient regarding the VAR. The last question regarding players that have been important from South Africa for the Bundesliga and will be important for players from South Africa in the Bundesliga, I would focus on the second part, namely future talents, because at the end, for us, it's important. Leipzig is a club that always looks in the future rather than talking about what has happened 10, 15 or 20 years ago, because this has been the past. We cannot change it. We don't want to change it. We can hardly benefit from it, especially as this club has not been there 20 years ago. But we focus on the future, on how to find the future talents in South Africa. And I think what we are already doing in terms of scouting, in terms of visiting matches, watching specific players, is something that we can enlarge, that we can make better, that we can spend more amount or more focus on academies in South Africa, on a player development pathway. How can this look like? How do we, not only from a sporting perspective, have to look on talents in South Africa, but also from a perspective that takes into consideration education in terms of language and in terms of support to have to understand the football culture in Europe and help to adapt. At least this is something that we are doing the collaboration with our teams in New York and in Sao Paulo. So of course it's about scouting, finding young talents, training them, bringing them on pitch to the right playing philosophy, etc. But it's also about language, about culture, about understanding the differences between countries to help to really adapt from one football market to the other market. And this is for sure where we will spend more effort in the future in South Africa, and that will hopefully end, as I mentioned before, in finding the next Jan Diamondi or Dudu Haidara, also in South Africa.
Great. That actually also answered the question we had from Letabo in the chat. So perfect answer. And now, final question, and then actually we have to move on. Leonard Zones.
Yes, my question is somewhat similar, maybe a follow-up on what you've been saying already. Are you able to confirm, without asking you to name specific names, if you've identified any players in South Africa who you think might have the potential to be good enough for RB Leipzig, whether now or some point in the future?
Yeah. As you just said, of course, we cannot talk about names because usually, or we have proven often that we are front runners in scouting and finding all these young talented players. But I can tell you for sure that having conversations with Mario, for example, he's not only talking about the amazing time he has had in South Africa during the World Cup in 2010, but he's also talking about the amazing potential he sees in scouting South Africa and the amazing opportunities on finding players, coaching them, developing them, and helping them to come to one of the Red Bull clubs. So I can ensure that everyone in the sporting environment in our club, but also in the global team, has a focus on the market of South Africa and is pretty much convinced that there is the talent and that we are able to find it. It might take some time, but it's on our short list.
Alrighty. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining. Hope was a good session for you guys, and actually I think also we see you hopefully soon in South Africa.
Exactly. So
As